everyone, I'm Carrie Pena, and we want to welcome you to this 5th annual Fashion Party virtual event to benefit Scott Foundation. If you haven't heard of the Scott Foundation, you will learn a lot this evening as we highlight the transformational work they do in the lives of Arizona's foster teens. It is important to be aware of the grim outcomes that await most of these teens when they age out of the system and venture into the world at age 18, unprepared, and in many cases, with all of their belongings in a trash bag. You can see some of the stats right there on your screen, and they really are sobering statistics. Scott Foundation is working to change young lives, and over the next 45 minutes, you will hear from the kids themselves, what it's like to have no hope, and then to find a community of people who believe in them. The outcomes for kids who complete this program are dramatic and life-changing. To help explain what Scott Foundation does and why, I'd like you to meet the founder of Scott Foundation, Colleen Walski, who started this organization to pay tribute to her only son, Scott. He was tragically taken when he was only 27. Through the transformative healing power of service, Colleen continues to honor Scott's legacy, and we will hear from her in her own words in just a few minutes.
The mission was defined by kids, and we knew it was going to be about service. The first year I had 25 kids, the next year I had 50, the year after that I had over 800, and it was all volunteer-based, and part of the situation in that was that it was selfless service, so you would create experiences for these kids.
But first, I want to bring in my friend Kelly Lee to talk about how you can be a part of this mission and share in one of this organization's unique events, their annual Fashion Party.
Thanks, Carrie. Welcome, everybody. I'm sure you're probably wondering where the name Fashion Party began, and as you will soon learn, the Scott Foundation is 100% all about the kids. And that's exactly how this party got started. This was actually a party for the kids. The kids all got together, they brought their pets, and they had a little bit of tea. Then it just kind of evolved from there to now we're into a fashion party fundraiser. So each of the pets that you'll see later today have actually been sponsored by someone. Now you can't sponsor any pets any further, that part's closed. However, I need to remind you that the Scott Foundation, this is their only form of fundraising this year. So if you do feel moved, we're going to give you a couple of chances that you can help us this year. And then maybe next year we can put your pet in our fashion party. So let me tell you about some of the work that Scott Foundation is doing that makes your donation very worthwhile. So there's a master program, and that master program is a 4-year program for one kid to go all the way through this program for 4 years. And at the end of that program, those kids are going to be doing things from farming to culinary to construction to arts and crafts to communication to everything that you can imagine. And it heals a child from the inside, and it gives them all of the tools. It's a toolkit so that when they're out of the program, they feel like they can be successful. They have the tools to deal with the things that life is going to bring them. These are the toolkits that you and I have learned from our families. But these kids don't have any families because the Scott Foundation is their family. And the Scott Foundation isn't going to give up on them, and neither should we. And that's why we're here today. And again, because of COVID, this is the only opportunity that the Scott Foundation has to raise any money, and we need your help. So we've set up a couple of ways that you can help us. If you notice, we have a silent auction going on. We have, I think, over 50, 60 items. I've got Duke Fry in the studio with me today, and we've got a lot of bidding going on. So there's a lot for you to choose from. You can go to Lake Tahoe, you can go to Cabo. You can have Farmer Billy come to your house and put you up with your own chicken coop. You can also, check it out. There's a million of them. There's a ton of ways you can help us. You can also donate. At any point in time, you should see a donate button below me if you're watching on Handbid on the web or if you're watching through the app. Just push that button. Any amount is greatly appreciated. Now remember, we have 100 kids that go through our program. There are 600 kids on the wait list. So we need you to help us get these kids in our program. All right. So now let's move on. I do believe, so what I'm going to show you, every time I come up, you're going to have an opportunity to donate. but you're also going to see some of our animals. These are our little fashion models, so I'm going to pull them up now, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek at 3 of them. Our very first model coming on the runway is Pokey. He is a 14-year-old gorgeous German horse. I believe he is a Westphalian breed, and he is being sponsored by Rulon Financial. So Rulon Financial, thank you so much for your $2,500 sponsorship of Pokey. That's going to go to good use. Now let's move on to Speckles. Now Speckles actually happens to be one of my favorite pets in the show today. I'm not going against any of the others, but I do love the feather boa that she wears. It's a little customized. But Speckles is actually, they call her a bossy chick. I call her a leader. She was actually, I think she was born with a cleft beak, and then she kind of had a farmyard fight when she was a kid, like kind of took out an eye, but she's overcome everything, and isn't she gorgeous? She is sponsored by Living Water Industries. So thank you, Living Water Industries, for your sponsorship. We appreciate you. Our next pet is Chola. Isn't Chola cute? Chola is actually sponsored by Reba Farms, and Chola is the youngest of his family and is just a lap dog that loves to be cuddled and loved on and rubbed. So I believe that's it for this portion of the show. I will be back. We have 16 of them, and one of them is a surprise in-person live appearance so that you're not going to want to miss. Let's go back to Carrie. Carrie, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kelly Lee, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the pet portraits throughout the show, including the mini horse with bangs, I'm told. And we will have some fun and focus on the reasons we are here tonight, sparking the greatness in Arizona's foster kids. It is something I really believe in. Right now, the pandemic has hit us all so hard, but for many of these foster teens who already feel disconnected, ignored, and alone, the increased isolation from the early shelter-in-place orders and now their limited external access really has been quite devastating. Runaways and suicide attempts have increased, and Scott Foundation responded. With limited funding and resources available, Scott Foundation adapted to virtual programs, provided computers to group homes, and in some cases activated emergency response. And now it is my sincere pleasure to introduce you to the woman who continues to make the impossible happen, Colleen Walski. When Colleen's son was tragically killed, she could have gone inward. Instead, she honors his legacy every single day by helping hundreds of children. In fact, Scott Foundation will have served 200 teens this year. And now, right now, they have another 600 children on the waiting list. Here now, in her own words, is Colleen.
My son is amazing. Unfortunately, for him, we lost him at 27. So it was not something you expect in your life at all. He was my only son, my only child, and was very fond of kids. So on the day of his funeral service, I actually started the nonprofit right away, and I knew it would be about kids, but I had no idea the direction this was going to go at all. His constant smile, even if I look at all the pictures, and I will cry through part of this, but if I look at all the pictures, it's we've only found 2 in all his 27 years that are pictures of him not smiling. When you've had everything taken, there's nothing to lose. And for me, it was just about what am I going to put back into my life. So I started a service learning program with these kids, and every day that I went in, I thought I was there to help them, and every single day there was another kid that had some kind of tragic story or something that was happening, and the hugs that I was allowed to give was completely transforming. The mission was defined by kids, that we knew it was going to be about service. The first year I had 25 kids, the next year I had 50, the year after that I had over 800. And it was all volunteer-based, and part of the situation in that was that it was selfless service, so you would create experiences for these kids. The number of calls that we get now are over the top. None of our kids have ever been on the streets after they've been with the foundation. We are a forever family for these kids. The option is not, it doesn't exist for our kids. So kids that are committed to the program know they will always be there for them. For me, the change was love. You had to get back. Love just heals everything. We have 8 programs, and the core of that is truly learning to listen to your heart, the intuitive part of what's going on, and not all the social noise and materialistic things that are around us. We work so hard. We work so hard for these kids, and trying to get people to understand the transformation that takes place for these kids and how it's not just a lesson plan. This is literally a life-changing direction for these kids. We're really not interested in taking kids from the gutter to the curb. These are kids that truly have a desire and eventually find themselves in a leadership position that is all about giving back. The system's broken, but these kids are not broken. For me, this is what keeps me closest to my son. I very much feel like this has always been a team forever, when he was present physically and still as he is today in a spiritual connection. We've always been incredibly close and as a team. But when I look back and reflect of the vision of where all this is, I've seen it. I've known this my whole life. I've not listened, but I've known it. I've been building it out in different bits and pieces along the way. But had somebody told me that I would have had to take this direction through the loss of my son, never would have happened. So this is literally a gift. I feel like I've been put back on path. Love and forgiveness and feelings are the things the 3 gifts that I feel that Scott has given me through all of this, and it's what I use to check myself on a pretty regular basis when things look like or feel like they're getting overwhelming.
Hi, I'm Jordan and I'm 14. What I love about Scott Foundation is that we're a big old family, that we love each other, we're there for each other. We don't leave anybody behind. We learn about helping the community, what we can do to the world if we had the chance. I am very big about cooking, but some of my friends aren't, so they like to go outside and help with the gardens. But I'm very big about cooking because I want to be a culinary chef when I get older. Mm-hmm. And I just like cooking sushi, I like cooking noodles. I like cooking a lot of different foods. Now to you, Chef Brett.
Hi, I'm Chef Brett. I'm the culinary director for the Scott Foundation. Right here you can see our outdoor kitchen being put together, and the possibilities just become endless for us as we move into this space and provide not only meals for our family time and our classes with the kids, but the expansion of reaching out to hundreds and hundreds of kids, 500-600 kids that we can touch throughout a year, with whether it's retreats or cooking classes or camps or whatever it may be, and it's just the spread of wild food here through the Scott Foundation.
I'm Billy Anthony. I'm the Farm and Logistics Manager here at the Scott Foundation. This is Chick Norris, our resident rooster. So this is our seed fridge. It holds about 75-80 degrees, which is pretty good for germinating seeds. So we'll take some seeds for trees and we'll soak them in a paper towel, put them in the plastic bag, and keep them in the fridge until they start to germinate. And then the kids will actually take these out very carefully and transplant them into soil. Some other things the kids are learning right now is growing trees from cuttings. So these are cuttings from a bunch of different fruit trees at my house, and the kids are learning about the energy stored in the branch and being able to sprout roots out from the spot where we cut, and that'll actually continue growing into a tree. Not every one will work, but a lot of them are starting to grow now, so the kids get to see their hard work there. And then we also have society garlic. It's a plant that we can actually split off into many other plants, so the kids just start splitting these up into their own little plants, and those will actually multiply and become a whole field for us one day. So Chick and I came from the farm in South Mountain. We landed here at the Scott Foundation, and I love working at the Scott Foundation because I get to bring all the kids along with me, teach them the things that I learn, and help them grow as people and help them grow vegetables that we can use in the kitchen that we're going to be working in. So every day the kids get to learn more and more, and I get to learn more and more as well. So it's just a journey together, and Chick Norris is here too.
Chef Brett and Farmer Billy are actually in charge of 2 of our programs that are in the master program that I was telling you about earlier. That's the program that everybody goes through for 4 years. The kids come in, they get to experience farming and culinary arts and the communications, and you got a kind of a little snippet of what happens out there. Now, let me tell you what happened when COVID hit, because COVID was a different situation. The Scott Foundation kids are not kids in adopted homes. These kids are in group homes. And when COVID hit, they couldn't go anywhere. And if you think other people had mental challenges with being sequestered and isolated, imagine what these kids were going through. I can tell you that the stats were staggering, and I can tell you that the Scott Foundation has just been chasing their tails trying to meet the demands and the needs of the kids. They're almost ignoring their own needs just to take care of these kids. So when COVID hit, instead of just stopping all the programs because the foundation couldn't have the kids come in until they were approved, no one could. All the kids had to stay in the houses. Scott Foundation put crates together, and they took them out to all the kids that are in the program. Now, remember, I told you only 100 kids can go through the program. There's 600 waiting. So 2 kids may be in one home, 3 kids may be in another home. They all got their crate, and then they did a virtual learning experience. So they had everything they needed for a culinary lesson, for a farming lesson, for an arts lesson, or a communication lesson, whatever part of the program that they were in. That was the virtual way. That's how they met the COVID needs of the kids. It was said that increased the cost by $75 a kid. If you should see a donation button below me right now, if you're on the Handbid app, or if you're watching on the website, there should be a donation button. And I want to tell you right now, I'm going to give a shout out to somebody that's really blown me away with his generosity. But I need you to understand that every dollar amount counts, because the Scott Foundation doesn't give up on any of their kids, not once, not ever. I've spent a lot of time getting to know Colleen and spent a lot of time out there at the house and on the land. And I'm telling you, the stories are, it's moving and amazing. Colleen, I love you, and I can't tell you how much respect I have for what you're doing. You don't give up on those kids, and neither should we. But that's why we're here today, because remember, the Scott Foundation has one chance to raise money this year, and this is it. They're just like every other charity. This is it, and we need your help. We need your help big time. So any dollar amount that you feel moved to do, you should hit that button below me. If you're watching this at a different time other than live, there's some information on the screen that you can go to as well to donate. But right now, I want to give a big shout out. One of the biggest philanthropists in the state of Arizona, Dave Alexander, has just donated $10,000 to our program. So if you're sitting at home, I need you guys. Duke, help me out. I need a round of applause in the studio here. Mr. Dave Alexander, you have just paid for one child to go through this program for 1 year, and you have probably changed the course of this young person's life for their entire life. I almost guarantee it. So thank you again. Your generosity. And if you guys have never met Dave Alexander, let me tell you something about this man. He is absolutely probably the most generous man I've ever met. And his story, it's amazing. He's just amazing. So Dave, thank you so much. I'm just kind of sweating now. Anyway, all right, so let's get back to the fashion party. Here we go. We're going to pull up. We've got 4 more models for you to see. Our very first one is Toby. Toby is a Pomsky. He has big paws and a very big heart. I believe his owner is Kaylee Buchholz, but Gustafson and Associates LLC is our sponsor of Toby. Thank you, Gustafson Associates. You guys gave $2,500. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's look at Boone. Boone is a 9-year-old donkey, and they say he is stubborn. I disagree. But if you want to know something, if you've never known that there are actually therapy donkeys, you have now met one. Boone is a therapy donkey, and Boone was sponsored by Adams Natural Meats. Thank you, Adams Natural Meats, for your $2,500 sponsorship. We appreciate it. Now on to Lurch. Lurch is a gorgeous turkey. Look at that turkey. Now Lurch has a tendency to stand by people and stare at them, make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, which as a turkey, that might be a problem. But when he identifies also as a guard dog, on other occasions, it works. So Lurch has been sponsored by Western Ranch. What's that, Duke? It's Western Ranch. Hang on, hold tight. Duke, it's Western Ranch Man Store. Is that right? Western Ranchman Store. Okay, I'm so sorry. It is Western Ranchman Store. So let me understand. It's so important that I say your name right because your donations mean everything to us. So if I stumble and stutter, this is live. That's what you get. But it is the Western Ranchman Store that has sponsored Lurch. Thank you so much. Everybody go out there, support them. Tell them you heard me stumble all over their name. Actually, go out, please, and support all of our sponsors. What they're doing is helping the children, and we need this help. So now let's look at these two cuties, Moose and Harley. Now, Moose and Harley, as you can tell, they might have a certain affinity for a certain team. They come to us from Louisiana, and I believe the team that they support is, I don't know, it looks like a tiger. Go Tigers. Moose and Harley, are they not cute? I just love them. They have been sponsored by Edward Jones of Carefree. So Edward Jones of Carefree, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate it so much. I think it's time for me to throw this back to Carrie. Thanks, Carrie. Here it is. Take it away.
Foundation really opens up the possibilities of life for these foster kids getting ready to age out of the system. With an amazing 100 experiences a year per child, 100 experiences, they are exposed to career paths many didn't even know existed. It's no wonder Scott Foundation now has a waiting list of 600. Probably the most impressive element of their work is how foster kids are able to emotionally begin to heal from the trauma they faced prior to foster care, and then how the system itself exacerbates many of those symptoms. I talked about the healing process with Deborah Pettit, an expert in dealing with trauma, abuse, and neglect.
One of the ways that these kids are able to get past the trauma is by developing relationships. So the program is all about relationships. And one thing that kids don't have as they come up through the system is the ability to have consistent relationships with people because they've gone from place to place to place. And anytime they've formed a deep relationship, it may have been ripped away. So this is giving them an opportunity that's safe, that they can be involved in these relationships. They can choose to do it. They can choose to back out if they need to, because that's really important, that they can choose how much involvement. And there's excitement in being with other kids and what they're doing. And if along the way we're learning great new skills, that's just a magic combination.
That is what I love about this show. It's about sharing hope. And now let's hear a few more Scott Foundation success stories.
Everyone's your friend, everyone's your family. You can talk to everyone about anything, and it's like everyone is so nice and everything is like, it's so friendly and warm, and when you walk into the environment you can feel the love and the support and the appreciation from everyone and that you have for everyone else.
One of my favorite activities that we've done here is when we made little pots to put all the things that have been bad in our past and we get to break it. It shows that, for me, it shows that I'm stronger than my past.
All of these kids have a forever home with Scott Foundation, and the Scott Foundation never gives up on the kids, and neither should we. We actually have a few shout outs to go to right now. We've got Chris Dale, who has given $1,500. That's 1.5. Thank you, thank you. We have Elizabeth and John Rugel. They've given $1,000. Thank you. Hunter White has given us $1,000. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I really thank you guys for your donations. If you will hit that button on your laptop or on your phone, we're going to see them coming through. Duke's going to give them to me, and we're going to give you a shout out as fast as we can. But let me tell you again about the Scott Foundation. This is their only fundraiser for the year. We've set up those two ways for you to bid. Now, if we were in person, I'd be bidding off items for you and we'd be interacting, and you'd be raising up your paddle to let me see when you donate. So the only way we can see if you donate is if you hit that button that says donate. And again, any dollar amount. I don't care if it's $25, put it in there. But obviously, you don't have to stop at $10,000. Dave Alexander was more than generous. But you know what? We'll take anything at this point. So we're here to help these kids. It's the only fundraiser. We need to push this home at the end, right? So we've put together, well, you know what I need to do? I have a shout out I forgot to do. Diane and Bruce Halley Foundation. If you remember, they are actually the ones who paid for this outdoor kitchen. So Diane and Bruce Halley, your foundation, we appreciate what you've done so much. I think that was quite, I don't know the exact dollar amount, but you guys sponsored that, and we appreciate that more than you will ever know. So let's talk about the Scott Foundation, what they're doing, and the kids that they're helping. I don't know if you understand, if you looked at those stats, in COVID, we've actually had some pretty sad times and some pretty trying times. And we really do need the help to help these kids. So if you can, please push that button and donate. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to our next 4 models. We have these guys were sponsored. We have 4 sponsors here. Luke is our first model. It is a 9-month-old Dalmatian. She loves belly rubs. Isn't she cute? Luke is sponsored by Succinctress Business Advisors. That's a $2,500 donation. So thank you, Succinct Business Advisors. Now let's go to Hazelnut. Hazelnut is so cute. Look at this. Hazelnut is an African pygmy hedgehog. Clearly, she likes to sit around in a cup of tea, and I think she's absolutely adorable. She is actually sponsored today by Rourke Construction Incorporated. That's another $2,500 donation. Thank you, Rourke Construction. I also want to point out that those guys have helped us quite extensively on a lot of the things that we're doing around the house to help with the farming program and the kitchen build out. We also have now Greco. Greco is a very noble Spanish horse. Is he not gorgeous? He has actually been sponsored by Ron and Joyce Mosier. And I'd like to say something about them. They actually gave $5,000. That's to Ron and Joyce Mosier. Thank you so much for your $5,000 donation. And then we have Chase. Chase is a retriever of all retrievers. He also likes belly rubs, going for long walks, chasing balls, and just giving loving and taking loving. He loves to walk around in his bow tie. No matter if it's a cash, he's always overdressed. So Chase is also sponsored by Ron and Joyce Mosier. So thank you guys so much. We are going to throw this back to Carrie, and Carrie, take it away.
Thank you, Kelly Lee. You have seen the stories of children who are being transformed through these programs. Children who are finally finding their voice. Communication arts has always had a special place in my heart. Of course, I'm a journalist, and I am so dedicated to my professional career, giving a voice to the voiceless. I know the power that comes with finding your voice. And now I want to introduce you to Justice, who sat down with me in our studios to talk about how the Scott Foundation helped her find her voice.
Hi, my name is Justice, and I'm 17 years old. I recently just finished school 2 years early. Got done with high school. Tired of it. How does that feel? It feels great not having to worry about school, especially during COVID. I would not be the woman I am today if it wasn't for Scott's Foundation. Even though I don't have my real family in my life, they feel just like family. I feel supported. I feel happy. I feel what it feels like to be in a family, like to have people that always love you, and you don't have to worry about if they're gonna leave you because they're there for forever. And they give me a voice by giving me opportunities like this one to speak about my story and my experiences and what I've gone through and how it doesn't affect my future exactly and how it doesn't define me, and that just because life hasn't always been easy, there's always a better path to take. People just have this look, like they have this label of foster kids that they're just bad kids or like nobody wants them, and like that's not it at all. Don't label foster kids. Like deep down we're all just kids, like we're children. Like would you want somebody labeling your children? Like it's just, and it makes us feel uncomfortable. Like someone gave me $20 because I told them I was a foster kid. I was like, please don't do that. Like, I have a job. I don't need money. Like, they take pity on us, or they don't see us as other people. Just because you've been through stuff, it doesn't mean that's who you are, or like what defines you. Like, if you go through abuse, it doesn't mean you're always going to be a victim, you know? No matter where I am, I know, like, I'll be okay. Like, I have people that support me. I have people that care about me, that love me unconditionally. So I don't ever have to feel unworthy again, really. Like, even if I don't have everything figured out over time, it'll come. Like, I don't have to stress about just not being loved.
You know, Justice is not alone. Every single child that you speak to and that you ever talk to from the Scott Foundation is going to say the same exact thing, that they don't feel alone. They feel like they finally have a family. And I think, you know what? I can't interrupt myself right now, but I will in a minute. We've got some more donations coming in, so keep on coming. We need to call you guys out. But if Justice is not alone, every single child that goes through the Scott Foundation program says the same thing. Everybody needs a home. Everybody needs love. They need to understand that the reason that they're in a foster home has nothing absolutely to do with them. It has to do with circumstances that they had no control over, and it means nothing about them. And I don't normally talk about myself because this isn't about me. But I will say that I had a very small time in my life that I lived in a foster home. And even though I was very, very fortunate, my mother was able to get us out. It did affect the way that I parented my kids, because I know so many people who are adults now that went through those programs and they weren't as fortunate as I was. So the work that they do is really impactful. Kids need to understand that they're loved, that they're wanted, that they're needed, and we need to help. We do, as a society and as a community. I mean, think about when you look at how many kids may go to jail, how many kids become homeless, what type of resources do they use out of our own community? So we're going to be paying for it one way or another. Let's do it in a positive way. Let's really build a foundation to where these kids have a true tool set. Let me tell you a story about one day when I was out at the house. I was out there and I was just working on some things, and they were doing some projects with the kids. The kids were decorating the house. So the kids all come there. Colleen has them come. It's a huge house, a huge yard, huge area where they do the farming. But they were all decorating the house for Christmas, because that's working the whole Christmas. Colleen will also fill this house full of mattresses, and the kids can spend the nights there through Christmas and wake up to Christmas trees. She truly creates a family environment for them. So when they say they feel like they have a family, they have a family. The plans that they have to expand are incredible. And we don't want to talk about that now, because that's going to be a fundraiser that's coming up, because there's 600 kids that need to get into, they're begging to get into the program. 600 kids. Remember, it costs $10,000 for one kid to go through the program for 4 years. That's one kid for 4 years for $10,000. And even though we're very grateful for Dave Alexander's obviously generous donation, we need more of those. We need more Dave Alexanders right now, because we have 600 kids that we need to help. I mean, they're begging. It's a waiting list, a literal waiting list. So if you can help right now, it would be a great time to donate. Now, you can also, if you don't want to just donate, you can look at one of our silent auction items. I know we have trips to Cabo. I know we have a bourbon experience if you're a drinker. I know we have some wine experiences. We have, again, my favorite, Farmer Billy will come out to your house. He will literally set you up, because I don't think you understand how difficult it is to actually have your own chicken coop. Do you realize you have to clean that thing out every day? I mean, and they just got new chicks, and I just went and watched the little house that they had set up. He can do all of that for you, and you can have fresh eggs every day. He can also set you up with a farm, and he'll get all the compost thing going for you, and it'll be everything that you wanted to have, and it'll be right there, and he'll do it for you. You can bid on that right now, and if I'm partial to Farmer Billy, you can tell I am, because I would like my own chicken coop, Farmer Billy. So if this throwout earns me anything, go ahead. But for you guys out there, we need you to bid on these items, bid on as many as you want. We packed our silent auction full just for you, because this is our only fundraiser this year. This is it. This is Scott Foundation. We need your money. We need your help. And if nobody has told you this lately, none of this is possible without you, without your donations, and without your help. So I'm super excited to tell you, it looks like we have so far, we've raised $7,700, over $7,700 in the silent auction. We have, yay, put your hands together, keep going. We're going to keep that silent auction open until tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So when you're laying around tomorrow, and I got some good news for you, the Handbid app is awesome. When you bid on an item, and then you're losing, if you turn your volume on, you're going to hear this annoying little voice that says, oh no, and it'll show that you're losing. So you can keep bidding and keep winning. So keep on bidding. Looks like we we've raised tonight $56,000. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. Ross Shapiro is actually winning one of our items. I'm not sure exactly what item that is, but we have Shepherd Lake. He's winning the food experience, and we have Jennifer Lowry winning our resort experience. We also have some more donations coming in. Keep them coming, you guys. This is why we're here. This is why we're doing this. So Ray Gall gave $1,000. I have Deborah Parmalee at $500. We have Tanya Ricks at $25. We have Katie Hendon at $25. We have Tim Simpson at $100. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep them coming. You are the reason why we're here. Every penny counts. And again, a shout out to Dave Alexander. Thank you so much. Your generosity of that $10,000 gift has just blown us away. So as we keep moving forward, let's see, is there anything else that I need to talk about? I don't think so. We thank Diane and Bruce Halley at their foundation for their generous offer, their generous donation for the outdoor kitchen. And we also looks like I have 4 more fashion models for you to look at. So before I get on my fashion models, I have 2 more donations. I need you to keep these coming in. I will carry on as long as we have to. We have Carrie Yates at $1,000. We have Scott Spillman at $1,000. Chris Dale at $1.5. And I think I left bring that back. Who else did we get in there? I don't think I shouted out. Did I shout out to Hunter White? $1,000. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep them coming. I got Duke running around in this studio. We're looking at them coming in. We need them to come in. Bring them in. You got to bring us home and bring us home strong, okay? All right. So now I'm going to jump over, and if you bring us some money, and if he pulls them up, I'm going to jump in the middle of these animal profiles to show you what we've got. So let's go to Luigi. This is Luigi and Wonton. Luigi is an Italian greyhound, and Wonton is, I believe, a Shiba Inu, which I don't know how to pronounce, but I can tell you this much. They're both super cute, are they not? Look at that. So Luigi and Wonton are both sponsored by Little Insurance Agency. Little Insurance Agency, thank you so much for your sponsorship of Luigi and Wonton. And our next little baby here is Dolce. Look at this cutie patootie with the tutu, with the stars and the purple. Oh my God, purple is about royalty, and she has on wings. I just noticed she's walking our catwalk with wings today. So we have Dolce, and she is a sweet little pit bull, and just like every other pit bull, this one was rescued, and she's so super sweet that the family just loves her. Is she not adorable? She is actually sponsored by Ramona Farms. So Ramona Farms, thank you so much for your sponsorship. That's $2,500. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ramona Farms. Now, I have to say, this is one of my favorites. Look at this little thing. Sasha Velour. Sasha Velour is sponsored by BNC National Bank. And if you aren't aware, Sasha Velour is actually named after a drag queen. And if she isn't striking a pose right now, I don't know who is, right? Love her. We love Sasha Velour. So thank you, BNC National Bank, for your $2,500 sponsorship. And I need to remind you, before I bring in our last little baby here, what I want to remind you of is every sponsor that you heard me speak of tonight, we would like for you to go out and actually visit them. Please visit their organization, their business, give them your business, because their sponsorship is helping the kids at Scott Foundation, and we can't do without them. So I'm going to give you, I have one more little fashion model that's going to walk out here on the red carpet, and then Carrie has 2 surprise guests for you, and one of them is one of our models. He's live. You're going to love it. You're not going to want to miss that. So, ladies and gentlemen, my final walker on the catwalk today is the gorgeous, beautiful Homer. Homer put on his top hat and his coat and a little tie, if you notice, to come see us. Now, Homer weighs 200 pounds, but we're not doing any body shaming here. Homer is gorgeous. He's a tortoise, and he happens to be sponsored by Tri-Dave LLC. So Tri-Dave LLC, thank you so much for your sponsorship. We can't do it without you. Carrie, back to you.
Thank you so much, everyone, to the Scott Foundation staff, to the board of directors, to all of the sponsors, and everyone who joined us for our show tonight. You can see I have Justice, one of the stars of the show, back in studio with us, and I can't forget Miss Dolly. So Justice, tell us a little bit about Dolly. I mean, you guys are exposed to so many beautiful parts of nature and just a lot of things that are very authentic. And of course, animal therapy is one of those.
Yeah, of course. Well, Dolly is a therapy horse. She works in schools and libraries and also with veterans and seniors.
How does it make you feel when you get to be around all the animals? And I understand you were around some like incredible birds this morning, and you guys just get exposed to so many different cool things.
Yeah, I personally adore animals. They just make me so happy. I have a problem with adopting animals. Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
So just tell the audience how you feel. Let's try to get Dolly's attention. Come on, Dolly. It's the close of the show, girl. You can do it right there into the camera. Just tell the audience how you feel, and just everyone who supported you and all of the kids who are part of the Scott Foundation.
She makes me really happy. She's just a beautiful, majestic animal, and I feel like because horses can sense your emotions, like I don't know, they're just different, and
she's so beautiful. And what do you want to say to all those who have supported you, all those who are watching?
Well, thank you for starters, but it means much more than just what anybody can think. Knowing there's people by your side when not even the court system is usually on your side, and who technically has custody of you. They don't always have the best intentions, and to know that people that I've never even met have good intentions and care about me, that's an amazing feeling.
Well, if it weren't for the pandemic, I would be giving you a huge squeeze right now, because you are so amazing. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your story and giving voice to so many kids out there who also need a voice. So we all wish you the best. Dolly, thank you for stepping in with us. She's looking right at the camera. It can't get much better than that, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support of the Scott Foundation. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.